The 671st edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Start crushing college football and the NFL with Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hello, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 671 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Going out to Howdy Pal, one of our pals in the Discord, who's a good guy helping people out with life in there, not just MMA. So this goes out to Howdy Pal. And welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second part of our Oktagon episodes this week. Oktagon 62, bigger than ever, and it is. Yesterday we did the prelims, and they were included a title fight. So it shows you how big this fight card is. The prelims pretty much were a normal Oktagon card, and they were just a prelim. So what we got the main card today with more winning picks. We got odds for these fights, and Gumby knows what he's talking about when it comes to Oktagon. Who am I? I'm not Gumby. I am Taco Fox. Welcome to the show. Gumby Vreeland. He's the one that you want to talk to when it comes to regional MMA picks. We haven't got an update for a while. How are the regional picks going, Gumby? And in particular, how are Oktagon? Do you know that off the top of your head or not?
I don't have the Octagon numbers off the top. They are usually really close odds. So I guess I'm doing well on those. LFA usually is my bread and butter. I'll be real honest with you. Last I checked and updated, we were up about 11 and a half units. So that's down a little bit recently, but that's because we had a couple of events with real fat odds. And the PFL Europe wound up being not so nice to us. We had a negative 1250 favorite lose a fight, which is kind of a bummer. And it was in a way where you were like, that guy would win 99 times out of 100. And this is the one. So that was not great. That was Ibrahima Mane for anybody who's wondering. Down a little bit from where we were, but overall, even though we're making money line picks on all of these, never talking about props or anything like that, we're still profitable. So that's the most important.
Yep. That is the most important thing. So,
and that doesn't count any of the Sunday fights because we are definitely not taping this on Sunday. No. And there definitely weren't 10 fights, we got some really nice dog odds on those. Hopefully, as I'm talking retrospectively, we hit them hard.
Yeah. There's definitely not 2 fight cards starting in a couple hours. So, all right. Oktagon, we're getting in. Today's Tuesday. We're finishing up Oktagon, and then tomorrow UFC. Yeah, there's UFC this week. There is flyweight UFC this week, right? Flyweight main
UFC
event?
Vegas 99, back to the Apex.
Oh, the Wayne Gretzky number of Vegas. Back to the Apex is what they should call it. UFC Vegas 99, back to the Apex. Anyhow, we will talk about that tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have have my research done by then, since it's already tomorrow already. We're doing that. Yikes. I've lots of work to do before then. Anyhow, this is Oktagon. I do have my research done for Oktagon, as does Gumby V. Before we move on, I want to thank everyone who has already helped out with this, our fundraiser for Hurricane Helene people, and more specifically the people of Western Carolina. We've teamed up with local charity mountainprojects.org to help give back, and the biggest donation will get a guest spot on the CFB Picks show and a ton of gear. So go to mountainprojects.org and hit flood support, help out today. Thank you in advance for that. And just a reminder that SGPN has the most degen pregame shows in the world. Saturday, the College Experience YouTube is live, start at 11 a.m. Eastern. And for the NFL, the Propcast kicks off at 11 a.m. Sunday, followed by SGP at noon Eastern. Last second bets, degen parlays, your calls, and more. Check it all out on our feeds, our YouTubes, our social medias. There's links, your podcast catcher, all that good stuff. All right. Let's do it. Oktagon, for people that didn't watch and or listen to yesterday's, go back, listen to it. But we're talking about Oktagon 62, bigger than ever, which is going down in Frankfurt, Germany, this coming Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. When's the UFC? Do you know? Start time for the UFC this week off the top of your head?
I think it's got to be like a 4 or a 5 if I had to guess, based on the strength of the card and the fact that it's in the Apex.
No one really just watches one thing at a time anyhow, do they?
No, we're multi-screen folk.
Everyone's multi-screen. I don't like multi-screening. I can't. You end up paying attention to nothing. I find I'm not really a multi-screener. But I'm old. I'm way older than all you people.
I'm like baseball on one screen, MMA on another screen.
Baseball is doable. Baseball,
Football on
I
the screen.
do work when baseball's on too, because it's not as doable as it used to be. Now with the pitch clock, it's, you don't have as much downtime between pitches.
It's a good background noise thing. Yeah, baseball's a good background noise thing.
It is. This is pretty much in a baseball stadium, except they don't really play baseball in Germany. This is at the Frankfurt football stadium, 50,000 people stadium. It is bigger than ever. Oktagon 62. Saturday, as I said, noon Eastern. Start time was the prelim, so we're probably talking 3. I'm guessing for the main card. That's what we'll go with, right?
Sure.
Gumby is on board. 11 fights. We already did 5 of them yesterday. Let's get cracking then. We got 6 to do today. Gumby just keeps talking though, right? Wasting time here. We're starting off with German on German action. Max Holzer versus what's Trabelsi's
Mohammed
Sadok Trabelsi. Is he related to the Slick? Isn't there a Slick Trabelsi?
That's Slim Trabelsi, which I think is spelled slightly different. Yeah, but
so Slim, is he related to him?
He's not related. Slick and Slim Trabelsi would be a sick tag team in the WWE.
Oh boy. Good start to the show, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Anyhow, Gumby's the expert. Just remind you people of that. All right. German on German action in Germany. Momo is Trabelsi's nickname. He's 12-7, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. This is his debut in Oktagon. One of the few people that are. He may be the only one debut. No, one other person's debut. And so, yeah, this is all veterans that we're getting this week. He's 1-2 over his last 3, 3-2 over his last 5. He did win his last fight. He's fight at lightweight. 2013 pro MMA debut. 4 inches taller than Holzer, plus 350. Holzer, Stifler, 8-0, 1 knockout, 6 submissions, 2-0 in Oktagon, 4 straight wins via submission. He's fight down to bantamweight, 6 years younger than Trabelsi, minus 549.
Yeah, this is an obvious one for Holzer. I don't. There's not really much to break down here. That dude's a bulldog. Stifler is a perfect name. He pins you against the cage. He zaps you of every single ounce of your, energy. He's not bad on the feet. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here knocking him and saying he's one-dimensional, but like the one dimension that he has that's better than the others is so good. I think Holzer just is going to pin him down. The other thing is like Trabelsi, like if you've gone back and watched any of his losses, he lost to Grabinski, and I don't know if it was in KSW or before Grabinski went to KSW, but like kind of just pinned against the cage and held down when he needed to. So, that's a perfect example of the game plan Holzer can follow here. Holzer's 8-0 for a reason. He's a beast. And they clearly wanted him to have a kind of a showcase fight here in Germany. So yeah, Max Holzer, even at the big odds, he might find his way into a couple of my parlays.
What if Trabelsi gets his brother Slick to fight with him at the same time?
2-on-1, I'd probably not pick Holzer.
All right, just checking. But his brother's imaginary. We discovered that his brother Slick Trabelsi doesn't exist. Does that change your pick?
It does not. No.
Back to Holzer then. If it's really one man and an imaginary man. All right, let's move on. I'm making it ridiculous, but I'm entertaining Gumby. Hopefully, I'm entertaining a few of you people out there as well. Let's go to some big boys, Gumby. Are these sloppy, fatty, heavy? No.
Oktagon doesn't really have sloppy, fatty heavyweights. Like all of their heavyweights look like they've been in the gym.
Second follow-up question, unrelated. Do they have any kind of drug testing policy in Oktagon, Gumby?
I don't know. Also, it is Trabelsi. You're right. They do have the same last name. I just looked it up.
Yeah, watch them be related, and then
I'll get back to you on whether or not they're related. Yeah,
then we'll see if they're related. Okay, you look that up while I tell you about these big boys who have been in the gym. Lazar Todev, he is not from Germany. No, he is from Bulgaria. He's up against a guy not from Germany as well. Adam Pałasz from Poland. Finally, a Polish name that's not. I probably butchered it anyhow, but Adam Pałasz versus Lazar Todev. The big boys going at it. 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. Pałasz, Adas Z Jawara. What does that mean, Gumby?
No idea.
I can't. It means Adam from somewhere when I Googled it. I can't remember. Have we talked about him before? I think we may have. I remember that wacky nickname. He's 9-3, Mr. Pałasz. 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 3-2 in Oktagon. Loss over his last 3. 4-2 over his last 6. Got submitted in his last fight. He has lost to this man, Todev, in 2023. It was a decision, I believe. Lost 2 inches taller than Todev. Based on the last weigh-in, he was 9 pounds heavier, plus 105. Finally, some close odds. The Punisher, Todev, 10-6, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. 2-1 in Oktagon. He's won 8 of 9, including his last fight via TKO. 2-2 in pro kickboxing. 2014 pro MMA debut. 4 years Eckerlin, Pałasz, -138.
So you got Pałasz as the
Pałasz, right? I said it wrong.
No, I'm not. Didn't mean to correct you.
I did though. Pałasz.
You have Pałasz as the underdog here.
Yes, this one of the fights like there were not odds listed. I had to like search around. This may have been the one. Let me just check again.
So I'm just asking because where I looked, Pałasz, I have him as a -138 favorite, and Todev at +105.
Yeah, I may have transcribed it wrong. Let me see.
It's interesting though because like these odds are super close. Todev won the first fight, right? And what I saw was Pałasz posted as a favorite, and even if it's one way in one place and one way in the other place, maybe hit up some arbitrage and just win. But also, you know, if Pałasz is in fact a favorite, which I'm seeing it on, we don't name books here because we're sponsored by one, but like one of the usual offshores that has them, I've seen Pałasz as a favorite, and it's telling that Pałasz is a favorite in a fight that he's in a fight he's already lost. That's really telling, right? Yeah. Because like if you lose a fight and they post you as the favorite, clearly they're thinking something. And so I went back and I watched that fight. Pałasz, really nice push kick, really nice straights, like his jab, seems very technical on the feet. Todev just like, you know, throwing wild hooks and brawling and a little bit. And I think Pałasz wins that fight if he doesn't get lured into the bullshit. You know, like he kind of just got lured into what Todev wanted by the end of the fight. And then, you know, they like to say it in the Discord, the blood judge took over here because Pałasz started bleeding and then he lost every round after that, which is, you know, one of those things.
Yeah, it's so maddening. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he might have actually lost these rounds. Like, I don't think that we got screwed here or anything like that. Yeah. But I think as long as Pałasz keeps his composure and doesn't get suckered into fighting Todev's type of fight, I think those push kicks and those jabs will just continue to infuriate Todev, and I think he wins probably a close decision here. So despite losing the first fight and posting as the favorite, I'm going to take Pałasz.
Yes, Gumby was right. Pałasz is a slight favorite, but this one is very close. Sorry, I had the odds swapped. So -138 Pałasz, +105 Todev. So I butchered the names. I got the odds wrong. You
don't usually get the odds wrong. That's
true.
That's a new one.
I usually just tell you the odds. So I'm finding new ways to screw up in my old age. All right, before we move on, I had trouble figuring out the underdog in the last fight, but I don't have a good segue here. I'm going to tell you about underdog. I said underdog and then I blanked out. Underdog fantasy, going to tell you about. All right, let's just get down to it. Underdog Pick'em. It's one of the biggest menus for all sports: NFL, college football, MLB, MMA, WNBA, NASCAR, and more. Their lobby is jam-packed with profit boosts, and you can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Gumby, give us a play for tonight's Tuesday. Give us a play for Tuesday night.
Shamania higher than on his earned runs. You guys know, don't like the Mets, don't like the Phillies, but these guys have been slugging quite a bit in this series. So I think Shamania, totally the type of person who's going to get ripped apart by these Phillies and should do so early. So give me the higher than on his earned runs.
And you cut his hair too, right? So he's, you know, you can't back the guy anymore.
No, it's like who's the biblical figure with that?
Yeah, Gummy and I are big on the Bible, so I'm surprised we're blanking on this.
Samson. Yeah, we should know that because we're about to talk about Samsonidse.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. All right, here's the important part, not the Bible. MMA SGPN. That's the important part. That's the code you need to know to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So underdogfantasy.com, promo code, everyone write it down, type it in, do whatever you need to do. MMA SGPN. Get it tattooed into your arm. Do it yourself with a knife. All right. Oh God. I used to work with a guy when we were teenagers who started carving a Metallica logo into his arm, and he only got the M done, and then it was hurting too much. So he did the A at the end, and that was it. Then he was done. There you go. Good story, right? I wonder what that guy's doing now. I wonder what his arm looks like now. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to come on, Tapology.
Featherweight.
Here we are. We're doing Torres fight. Is that right?
Samsonidse.
You said Samsonides. Niko Samsonides from Germany. Samsonidse. Right. He's from Germany. Daniel Torres, not from Germany. He is from Austria. Close. 3 5-minute rounds. I just made a bunch of Austrians and Germans mad there, didn't I? 3 5-minute rounds at featherweight. Gonna tell you about Tucano first. Torres. So big Toucan, right?
That's right, big Toucan.
Yeah, 15-6 with 2 no contests, 7 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. 1-1 in Octagon, 3-1 with 1 no contest over his last 5. Lost his last fight. Used to be the KSW champion, so he did fight in KSW. Used to fight at lightweight. He was in the Tip Sport Changer tournament too, right?
He was, yeah.
And lost, and now he's back in just normal fights. He was in PFL, got a no contest because he was part of the big drug sting. He popped for good drugs, not the drugs that don't help you fight. 0-1 in Kun Kumir, which is a Cambodian like kickboxing. Yep. They're a form of Muay Thai. Is that right?
Yep. My understanding is it's pretty much Muay Thai.
Yeah. Plus 120. Now we made a bunch of Cambodians and Thai people angry at us too. Anyhow, Samsonidse. One love. Peace, Samsonidse. One love's a nickname. 10-3. 3 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out twice. He is 2-1 in Octagon. 2-1 over his last 3. Got TKO'd in his last fight. He was in the Tip Sport too, wasn't he? Or no?
He lost to Kita in his last fight in a featherweight title fight. Yeah.
Right. He used to fight at lightweight and welterweight. 2012 pro MMA debut. Minus 143. Did I get these odds right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go Samsonidse. I watched that fight back with Kita, and honestly, Samsonidse had some really great moments in that fight. I mean, like, he took him down. He was in top control against Kita. I mean, ultimately, he got knocked out by Kita, but pretty much outside of Paradis, like, who isn't getting knocked out by Kita? And for me, Samsonidse is a guy who. Once he gets that wrestling going, you're gonna have a tough time getting him off him. He's like a blanket. And then in addition to that, like, he got his hands going in that Kita fight a little bit too. He's long and kind of rangy and was sort of sticking Kita a bunch of times. Torres, kind of the opposite. Like, he needs to fight in a phone booth. He throws big, heavy shots every single time he throws. He's trying to knock your block off. I just don't think that's like a really good sustained game plan against a guy like Samsonidse, who is going to take you down when you overextend yourself. And like, Torres kind of overextends himself a lot. He did it against Paradiser, the aforementioned Paradiser. And like, Ronnie just kind of picked him apart because he was way longer. I think Samsonidse's probably got a reach advantage here, even if they don't necessarily list the height and reach here. I think he's probably got a reach advantage. And even if Torres like tries to blast in past that range, I think he's going to find himself on the wrong end of a double leg. So give me Samsonidse here. I think he out wrestles him.
All right. He's taking Samsonidse. We are giving him to you. Boom. All right. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to, I say ladies, maybe lady and gentlemen. Coga versus Račić. Now I have to find it on my actual screen. I could prepare while Gumby's talking, but no, I don't. This is a lightweight fight, 3 5-minute rounds. Max Coga. He is from Germany. Antun Račić, not from Germany. He is from Croatia. 3 5-minute rounds, 155. Tell you about the killer Račić. Killer Račić is 27-11-1. 1 knockout, 13 submissions. He's been knocked out 1, submitted 6 times. 1 no Octagon, win over his last 3. 2-3 over his last 5. 1 his last fight via TKO. That was back in June of 2023. He is also another former KSW champion. Also a regional champion. He submitted this gentleman, Coga. No, he lost. Sorry, he got submitted by Coga back in 2013. So many, many moons ago. Used to fight at flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight. 2009 pro MMA debut, plus 240. Coga, mad. Max Coga, 26-8-1, 10 knockouts, 12 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. This is his Octagon debut. He's won 3 straight and 4 of 5. 2 straight wins via finish. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky with it. Finally, I've said that. It's first time on this card. More to come. Has not lost since December 2021. 1-2 in PFL. Used to fight at featherweight. 2011 pro MMA debut. Minus 350.
I'm going to take my first swing on the dog here on the main card. I'm going to take Antun Račić. I know he lost their first fight, but to your point, that's over a decade ago at this point, so I don't necessarily even count that. And if you watch their 2 fighting styles, like Coga, first of all, I worry about whether or not he's just like super hittable because he like leans forward similar to the way that like Keith Jardine used to. just in case we needed a Keith Jardine reference in today's show.
Always.
Yeah, but he like weirdly, like his upper body weirdly leans forward when he strikes. And I think it makes him easier to be countered. And it also, like, while he's a power puncher, I feel like he would have more power if he was not weirdly leaning all the time. But like, you know, on top of all of that, like if you watch his last fight, he gets held against the cage really easily, granted in a title fight, but it was like for NFC, which I've never heard of before. But he like got held against the cage for large chunks of time. He got taken down. I think Račić has shown that he's got kind of like sneaky good wrestling where he could score a couple of takedowns here. Maybe he doesn't want to, being that he lost this fight last time by submission. And maybe he wants to stay away from that. But I also think just in general, like he's a lot faster on the feet at this stage in their career. I don't know if he was the first time, but like now I think he's a lot faster and he also fights way more composed. I don't know if he's going to be sucked into like the crazy kind of fight Coga kind of wants, like, cause Coga he would love for this fight to devolve into a brawl, not more than not anything. And I don't think Račić is going to oblige him in that. And in addition to that, if he gets wild on the feet, there's no reason that Račić can't duck under and wind up with that double. Cause like I said, what I've seen from him in his last few fights, Račić's wrestling looks like it's better than Coga's, especially because like, I don't know, Coga doesn't seem committed to it anymore. So I'll take Antun Račić as a pretty big dog here.
All right, fantastic. Before we move on, I want to tell you about Rhythm. SGPN's proud partner. Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Get predictions for betting on money lines, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or press build a model for me. Rhythm gives you predictions for every game and player prop, and also has myriad of stats, research, and trend analysis to give you even more betting insights. Check it all out and claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by BetUS. Bet with the best in the business, BetUS. BetUS has been around for more than 30 years. You can easily deposit using cryptocurrency and get lightning fast payouts. US players are always welcome. Sign up and deposit $100, and you have a chance to win a 1960 Ford Mustang. So check all the MMA lines there. Try to win yourself a Mustang. And more importantly, use our link to sign up, and you get a 125% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BETUS. Promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. All right, down the home stretch we go. We come. Heavyweights, not heavyweights, titles. Nothing but titles the rest of the way. We're starting off with Oktagon's middleweight championship. The co-main event, Patrik Kincl. He is from Patrik Kincl from the Czech Republic. He is up against Kerim Engizek. Kerim Engizek from Turkey. Not a hard one. I'm making it hard. 5-5 rounds, 185. Tell you about the challenger first. Engizek, 20-4, 20-4, 13 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted twice. 2-0 in Oktagon. He's won 13 straight fights. He's not lost since September 2014. 8 straight wins have come via finish. He has multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get that shirt. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Get sticky. Use fight at welterweight. 2010 pro MMA debut. 1-0 as a pro boxer. 2 years younger than Kincl. An inch taller. Plus 163. Kincl, the inspector. 28-10 with 1 no contest. 13 knockouts, 7 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted twice. 4-0 in Oktagon. The current champion. 3 title defenses under his belt already. Successful ones, obviously. He's won 4 straight and 9 of 10. He's not lost since September 2021. You sweat at welterweight as well. 2007 pro MMA debut, minus 225.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kincl here. He didn't look great in that Wawrzyniak fight, and in fact, I picked against him in that fight, and it was looking great for me until it didn't. But a lot of what happened in that fight is part of the reason I like him in this one. Is despite having trouble in the clinch with Wawrzyniak, who is just an absolute beast in his own right, early in that fight, and despite having trouble with the wrestling early in that fight. Like late into, I think it was the 3rd round when he started to change things around, like late into that fight, he still had the energy, still had the wrestling, still had the grind to turn that fight around. And I think that alone against a guy like Wawrzyniak should give you confidence against Engizek. Because Engizek is a guy who would love nothing more than to have like a rangy kickboxing fight here. And Kincl just will never let anybody fight that kind of fight. And he is so good when it gets like into the grind. It's so good when people start to get tired because he just doesn't tire like regular people. And if you watch Engizek's last fight, he did have his back taken and there was a body triangle on him within, I want to say like a minute and a half of the fight. That's obviously not a sign you want after, Kincl just went out there and submitted with Wozniak. So yeah, I think Kincl for sure here is just got to make this as gritty of a fight as he can. And Engizek doesn't have much of a chance in that kind of fight. So yeah, give me Kincl.
All right, give him Kincl. Let's go to the main event. This is for the King of Germany belt. Is this a new belt they just created?
It's like a fun thing for the
BMF
stadium show. Yeah, it's their BMF title. Yeah.
Yeah. And not surprisingly, we have two Germans fighting for it. Christian Eckerlin, Christian Jungwirth, the King of Christians as well. 170 pounds, 5-minute rounds. Talk about the Bible. Christians were a very religious episode today. Tell you about Jungwirth first. The Celt is 15-8, 5 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. 7-6 in Oktagon. He's won 1 of 3 and 3 of 5. Did win his last fight though, plus 120. Eckerlin, 16-6 with 1 no contest, 6 knockouts, 8 submissions. Knocked out twice, submitted twice. 3-1 with 1 no contest in Oktagon. Win over his last 3. Won his last fight via TKO. 9-1 with 1 no contest over his last 11. Multi-reacher championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get this shirt, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Get sticky. Use fight at middleweight. 2009 pro MMA debut minus 163.
I'm going to close it out here with a dog. I'll take Christian Jungwirth. I think, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of these fights we've talked about being one guy who likes it sloppy and one guy who likes it technical. And we're kind of getting that again here. Jungwirth likes it sloppy. He wants this to be a big brawl. He comes forward. His offensive striking, infinitely better than his defensive striking. This is a guy who doesn't mind taking a shot to give one. And the thing is that with Eckerlin, there's 2 problems with that. First of all, when he gets into a fight where somebody wants to take one to give one, he jabs them. And not that a jab isn't good, and I promote more jabbing in MMA, period, anyway. But that's just not going to deter Christian Jungwirth. Like, he needs to hit him something hard to get his respect. And Eckerlin just kind of has a tendency to, until he's really found his range, not let go. He throws a lot of jabs early in the fight. And then also, if somebody blitzes him or puts too much pressure on him, he wants to circle away, but I've seen him turn his back before. I think he worries about turning it into a brawl. And sometimes he worries so much about turning it into a brawl that he winds up being worse defensively than he would if he just brawled. And I think Jungwirth is going to be able to bring that kind of fight out of him. I kind of like Jungwirth better if I don't think either of these guys are going to wrestle. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. It's going to be a striking match. They're going to be dudes trying to knock each other out for a weird fictional title. And I don't know. I just kind of something about the way that Jungwirth strikes. I think he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, and it's going to be more likely to pick up rounds if it doesn't end in a KO.
All righty, there you go. He's all set. Let's recap you, and you'll be all set for Oktagon, and we'll jump into some UFC tomorrow. Jungwirth, Kincl, Račić, Samsonidse, Pałasz, and Stifler, right?
That's correct.
All right. You're all set. Yesterday, did all the prelims. So you're all set for Oktagon. No lightning rounds because we've done every fight. There you go, people. You got what you asked for. Check us out in the Discord if you want to discuss Oktagon, UFC, whatever. We're at sportsgamblingpockets.com/Discord. You can also reach us in the comments on our YouTube channel, the MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe there if you haven't already. You can reach us on Twitter at SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that. He's Gumby Vreeland. I'm Jeff Fox, writer there, and on Instagram. Get in my Substack, enter my UFC Pick'em contest for this week. Check out my other articles as well at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has the Top Turtle MMA podcast, which should be probably dropping your feed tomorrow. You have, I can't remember who's on it already.
Yeah,
one person.
Daniel Pineda,
right,
who's going to be fighting a week from now in the UFC, and also LFA's. Well, no, I've got it now. No? It's LFA's Melissa Croden, who fun 5-2 prospect out of Canada.
Oh, there you go. Boom. So Gummy will be picking against her whenever he gets the chance for sure. So make sure you listen to that. Also, we can be reached at actually all their stuff can be read at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. You can get all their podcasts and everything there as well. Of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store if you want to get cool gear like Gummy and I wear. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get bonus content. Gummy's going to take you out of here until tomorrow.
All right, I'm Deiga-Scheck Freeland. He's the king of Germany, Jeff Fox, and we will see you tomorrow.